Scottish Labour were judged in relation to Keir Starmer's party, and there's since been this debate on should there be a breakaway, should there be a split. But of course, in the last week, there's been a bit of a Burnham bounce. He's clearly a better, more astute politician than Keir Starmer, and there are some people in Scottish Labour saying, well, let's just jump on the Burnham bandwagon. Let's hitch a ride with him. But, I mean, the Burnham bubble will have burst by 2031. The Scottish Labour might get a good result in the general election by being close to Burnham, but he is going to go down at some point. And in 2031, if that's their strategy, they might find themselves in exactly the same position as they were in May, which is they've tied themselves to an unpopular UK Labour leader.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly does look that there's been a Burnham bounce at the moment. Labour are suddenly leading in polls nationally again. There is just you can feel it. There's a bit more energy and enthusiasm around the government now. I've never really bought the idea of the sort of Scottish Labour breaking away. Do you think your average voter really has any conception of the sort of governance relationship between Scottish Labour and UK Labour? I think they probably don't. I think short of actually changing the name of the party in Scotland, nobody would really be aware of what that relationship was anyway. Things change so quickly in politics. I'm actually surprised at the moment. There seems to be a lot of senior Labour figures in Scotland going on about this review of what went wrong in the election. I think, look, they lost. That's what went wrong, and they're now, things are changing quite quickly. If I was them, I would, just forget about the election. It's quite a simple thing. Keir Starmer was very unpopular, and you lost. It's time to move on, come up with some new policies. I think that rather than sort of obsess on the relationship between Scottish Labour and National Labour, I think probably the bigger question for Scottish politics is how the different parties in Parliament interact with each other. I think one of the problems of the Scottish Parliament is that we think it's Westminster, or the parties behave as if they're in Westminster, this very adversarial sort of system, and that's not really how the Scottish Parliament will function well. It's I think increasingly, but the next election we'll probably see even more of a government made up of a coalition between parties, and I think you do need to much more just pick your issues and try and get things done on a micro level rather than treating the whole thing like a sort of Westminster Punch and Judy politics.
But the thing with that is the SNP don't want to deal with anyone else. They want it their way on every single issue. So there's no room for any opposition parties to work with the government.
For example, the two things that Monica Lennon would say were her notable successes: period poverty, ecocide. They seem to have managed to build a cross-party consensus around some of those things. There has been issues where parties have worked together in the common good.
Yeah, a handful, I guess.
SNP are passing budgets with the help of Greens.
I mean, I guess the question is it too far gone for Scottish Labour, given the historical decline, going backwards every single election? Can they ever recover? I mean, I have my doubts.
I mean,
at Holyrood level, I mean, clearly that a very good result in 2024, their best result in a generation, won 37 MPs, whatever it was. But at Holyrood, it just seems like, the current trajectory, the Greens will come ahead of them in 2031.
Well, I don't think. I mean, never say never. I think they were on track to. In 2024, Anna Sauer was on track to be First Minister. They were on track to win a Holyrood election. It's Keir Starmer that brought them down. So I don't think that's an accurate way of saying they're just going to keep dwindling away. I think ultimately, again, go back to that 2024 vote, and there is a large chunk of the electorate will vote Labour. It's just how you...
So what is the way forward then? Say it was Michael Mara. What do you think he should do? What are the sort of basics in order to get them on the pitch, match ready and able to win an election at Holyrood?
I mean, they're kind of stymied at the moment because there's two parties with 17 MSP. So there's not an official opposition as such.
Mm.
No one seems to know who the opposition is. I think what Labour have to do is just act like the opposition and just own that space and say, look, we're going to be the official opposition, if not officially, but in deed and in action.
They've done that in the past, though. They have been the main opposition. They've acted like it.
Not for a long time, the Conservatives have been the opposition for a long, long time. Going right back to 2016, I think, before when Ruth first. I mean, one thing I would say, if you look at the way the Conservatives, and I'm sure Labour won't want to take any lessons from the Conservatives, but the way they built success at Holyrood was a closer relationship with the UK party. David Cameron and Ruth Davidson were very much a double act. Russell Finlay and Kemi Badenoch at the moment are a really good team. I think the new leader needs to be close to Andy Burnham, and he's just got to, he or she.
But that UK leader has to be
you've got
popular.
Yeah, exactly.
No point hugging a
loser.
A dodo.
No point hugging a dodo.
I mean,
good statement of fact.